welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a winter makeup look using some new products. So they're not necessarily products that are new releases, but they're maybe just new to me. So if you want to see the makeup look I create, then just keep watching. So I'll tell you exactly what I've done to my skin so far. So I washed my face using the Glossier Milky Jelly Cleanser, and I've had this before. It's a really nice face wash. It's just like a really nice sort of gel textured cleanser. It's just nice and basic. It doesn't sting my eyes. It's not overly fragranced. It's just really nice, especially for sensitive skin. I would definitely recommend it. Then in place of moisturiser, I've actually used the Glossier Future Dew. So this is a brand new product to me. I've never used it before, and I've seen it on so many people's Instagrams, and I've wanted to try it for a long time. So this is it here. So it's an oil and serum hybrid product, and I'm going to use this also at the end, just on the cheekbones for an extra dewy glow, to give a little bit of a wet look skin. So that's what I've done so far. Then for primer, I'm taking my trusty Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. It's a long name. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on top. Even though I've put the Glossier Future Dew, you still need some form of primer. So I'm just going to rub that in. I quite often just use this in place of a moisturiser and a primer in one. But I'm going to go for a super dewy look. But just make sure you get that really nice around the nose, around the jawline. Then for foundation, I bought a new bottle of the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. So this is my favourite one to use on clients, but I don't often use it on myself, so I bought a separate one to use on myself. So let's try it out on me today. So I'm going to use the Olivia Hale buffing brush onto the brush. So this is the shade Porcelain. Hopefully it matches me. It might be slightly too light, but we shall see. So I love to use this on clients because it photographs really well. It's nice and dewy, it has nice medium coverage, and is amazing for dry skin. Like, it doesn't emphasise dryness. Unless your skin is very dry, then it may do so, but you just need to make sure you use a good primer underneath. So I'm going to apply that all over and then I'll be back. So then for under the eyes, I'm taking the Becca Under Eye Corrector, and this is in light to medium. So as you'll see, this is very light reflecting. So it literally bounces back the light under my eyes. It's crazy. But you definitely do need to use a normal concealer on top of this, like a skin tone shade. So I'm just patting it in with a Peaches brush, and this is the PC10. So then for concealer under the eyes, I've bought a new Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer in Fair for under the eyes. I like this shade for under the eyes because it's nice and light. So this is a very nice serum concealer. I've mentioned it on my channel before, but normally I use the shade Light, but I'm trying the shade Fair under the eyes now to brighten them a little bit more because I have really bad dark circles at the moment. So I'm just patting that in. So it has amazing coverage for it being so hydrating and so much like a serum. It's really brilliant. It's definitely not a concealer you can use as an eye base because it's far too moisturising for that. It'll just make your concealer all crease. So on the eyes as an eye base, I've just applied the Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer in Light Warm, because that's a very matte concealer and it's good for eyeshadows to grab onto it. Then for concealer around the face, I'm using the NARS Matte Concealer, and I only have a tiny bit of this left. As you can see, it's very well loved. This is the shade Custard, and just make sure I'm just applying quite a bit of that around the nose because I do have a very red nose, and it blends really nicely in with this foundation as well. They're a great colour match. So I've used Porcelain of the Too Faced foundation, and then this is Custard. And any scars, so I have some scarring at my cheeks. So then before powder, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Tantour in Light. So you've seen this on my channel before, but it's a firm favourite, definitely. So I'm going to use all cream products on my cheeks today, apart from the highlighter. I'm going to take that on the Olivia Hale contour brush. It's really good. Although this is the shade Light, it's really not that light at all. It's actually quite dark, but it blends like a dream. So when you're using something like this, make sure you do use a small brush just to get right into that cheekbone. And I'm using it almost like a bronzer as well. So I'm not actually going to use any bronzer today. I'm just going to use this. And I'm just taking that around the temple as well. Fab. So that's really warmed up the face nicely. So then for blush, I'm going to mix two of the Glossy Cloud Paints. So I'm going to mix Dusk and Puff, so a nude and a pink. So I'm going to use a highlighter first and then use a cream blush. Whoa. So for highlighter, I'm going to take my Natalie Grace Cosmetics Honeymoon highlighter. So this is part of her Christmas collection, and I've mentioned Natalie in some videos before. So she's a fellow Glasgow makeup artist who has brought out her own makeup brand. So I'm just using this for the first time today, but I swatched it when it arrived, so hence the big line in the middle. But yeah, it's a beautiful champagne colour, so I'm excited to use this, so let's give it a go. So I'm taking this on a small brush, so this is the Suku brush. I can't remember which one, but it's the one that's shaped like this, so it's slightly bigger than like a blending brush for the eyes per se. I'm just taking a little bit of this. Whoa. That is amazing. Right, let's do it the other side. That is pretty blinding. That is absolutely stunning. It kind of looks, it almost looks like there's a filter on my cheek where that's been applied. Obviously I've not powdered yet, so I'm looking very, very shiny anyway. But wow, that is actually amazing. It makes my skin look like silk. That is really, really stunning, that highlighter. Because I just absolutely can't help myself, I'm going to apply this in the inner corner straight away. Jeez, can you see that? Wow. Subtle but blinding at the same time. It's really strange. Yeah, I've never used a highlighter like that. I think it's really, really strong, but it's not really in your face. I think because it's a really nice fine highlighter. That is stunning, so I'm really excited about that. So I definitely recommend that. And then before we put on our blush, I'm going to just powder the skin. So I'm using the NYX HD powder. So this is nearly finished. As you can see, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. So I'm really liking this powder so far. So I'm just going to take some on the eyelid. So I've just brushed my brows up because I couldn't handle them being so messy like that. But I'm actually going to put on a little bit of bronzer. So I'm going to use the Revolution Golden Days bronzer. As you know, I love this. I'm just going to put a little bit on. Yeah, that's better. Before I put my blush on. How amazing is that highlighter? I'm actually shocked right now. It's really amazing. Obviously I knew it would be good because Natty's products are all good. There's something really different about it. And even although I'm putting a powder bronzer over it, it's still really shining through. Look, you can see I'm really rubbing and it's still staying just as strong, but really softening. I feel like it's got a really blurring effect on the skin. I think that would be stunning on the eyes as well. Hint hint, Natalie should bring out some eyeshadows because if they're anything like your powder formulas, then they will be fantastic. So yeah, definitely. So for blush, I'm using the Glossier Cloud Paints. So I've just mixed Dusk and Puff together and it's created this shade. And I'm just going to tap this on. Lovely, yeah, that's really nice. So in the Black Friday sales, I was going to buy the iconic liquid blushes, but then I thought I have these two Glossier Cloud Paints which I never even use. So I thought rather than buying the iconic one, I would just use these. So I'm just taking a bit more and just mixing them together. And I'm just tapping that onto the cheeks. So if you're ever applying cream products over a powder, always just tap, never rub, because you will take the foundation off underneath. These seem to be blending really, really nicely. And you can still see Natalie's highlighter underneath, which is amazing. That's the reason I put the highlighter underneath, just to see if you could still see over the blush, and you absolutely can. So very, very chuffed with that. For an extra glow, what I did want to try was using a little bit of the Glossier Future Dew on top of the highlighter, just to see how that looks. So I'm going to apply that with my finger, just to get a little bit of a wet look skin. Oh, I'm so glowy, this is like my dream. Ooh. So you can't say my face is not dewy right now. So now on to eyes. So I'm taking the Glossier Boy Brow in brown and just brushing it through the eyebrows, just to tint them a little bit, add some colour back in and add some texture also, so you can see a massive difference as soon as I start to apply this. The brows just look much stronger, fuller, with a lot more texture and colour. So again, another product that I love. I would highly recommend this. This is probably my favourite product from Glossier so far, but I think it might be soon replaced with the Future Dew. And of course underneath I do have a brow lamination, so that's why the brows are sitting particularly fluffy, because my eyebrows don't normally, as you know if you've seen any of my other videos, where I've not had a brow lamination, my eyebrows are a disaster. Perfect. So I'm going to fill in my eyebrows a little bit once this is dried in. But next I'm going to move on to the eyes. So I'm taking the Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nudes palette. And I've wanted this for ages. So if you follow me over on Instagram, you'd have seen me mentioning this a while ago. So that's it there. It has all your perfect bridal shades and all your nice daily natural shades with nice shimmers to go along with it. So I've been really looking for a new palette recently with good matte shades, like a good range of mattes that I can do a lot of looks with. So this is a very multi-tonal palette, so it'll be really, really good in my makeup kit, but I'm going to try it on myself first, and if I like it, I'll get a new one for my kit. So firstly, I'm taking the shade Seashell, this one here, so the lightest brown, and it's got a peachy tone to it as well. So this should go with my hair very nicely. So I'm just taking that on a Smashbox brush that I've used many times I actually got it in a palette years ago, but I really like it. It's nice and soft. I'm just taking that in the crease. And these eyeshadows stick to the eyes very well, so make sure you apply with a light hand and really blend them out as soon as you start to apply them, because they do really stick to the eyes. They're quite dry mattes, I would say. They're not the easiest to blend, but I really like the Too Faced shadows because they last so long in the eyes. So as you can see, if you work with them with a very light hand, like when I'm touching the skin, I'm barely touching the skin, I'm literally tickling the skin, you can actually blend these out very well. You just need to be careful how you're holding your brush. If I'm holding the brush very far back and then barely touching the skin, that's how you get that nice diffuse look. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see the eyes even better. Fab. So as you can see, I'm super duper glowy. But I'm loving it, must admit, really love it. So I'm just going to finish off the eyebrows with the Primark Skinny Brow Pencil in dark brown. And I'm just going to create a few strokes just wherever the brows are a little bit more sparse. So just here, and just also where the brows need a little bit more colour. So back to the eyeshadow. I just love this palette, I think it's absolutely stunning. I wish I'd got it ages ago. I kept going back and forth, going to buy this palette and then not, but I'm glad I just got it because I think it is going to be perfect for my kit as well, and for myself for like daily makeup. So next I'm going to take some of the nude shade here. So it's a little bit more neutral than the last. The last one was quite warm toned. I'm just going to deepen the crease slightly with that, so it's quite a lot darker actually. As you can see, it gives a really good depth to the eye, this one. So I think it's nice using a slightly warmer shade around the edges and then using something slightly more neutral to actually add the depth to the eye, just like this colour. This is just going to be a nice soft makeup, but I can do a more glam look with this as well. I think I'll actually film that next week. So let me know if there's any particular looks you want me to film and I can do that for you. So again, just holding the brush nice and far back and just diffusing that up and out. So then I'm going to mix the two colours together and just bring this slightly higher up. So if you have hooded eyes like me, the trick is to apply a little bit, then have a look and see how it's looking. So with hooded eyes, as you can see, this looks slightly higher than this eye. That's because I looked straight ahead and I seen that the shadow wasn't very visible when the eye was open, so I've just lifted it up slightly more in the middle, like that. So that's the best thing to do if you've got hooded eyes. It needs to be slightly higher up in the middle, just to really lift the eye and elevate it. So next I'm going to take the shade Cocoa, or Cacao, I'm not sure. Just same brush for everything, nice and simple. Oh, that's a very nice colour. As you can see, these colours really add great depth to the eye, and they blend together very nicely. I'm really impressed with this palette actually. The formulas are fab, and like I said, generally speaking, the Too Faced shadows last amazingly on the eyes. So they're ones that I really like to use for brides, because although they are a slightly drier, like I mentioned, and maybe it's slightly harder to blend, they do last a lot longer. So that is, I would say that's a really important factor, because I guess your blending skills can help blend them better, but your makeup skills don't necessarily determine how long the makeup lasts. So that's why you need really long lasting shadows naturally. And then although these are harder to blend, you can use your good blending skills to help blend them further. So I would say in terms of bridal makeup, that's exactly what you need. If you find you're not the best with blending, maybe now is a good time to practice. And while not so many things are open, you can practice for when everything does reopen. So then lastly, for the matte shades, I'm going to take the darkest shade, which is Truffle, and just apply a tiny bit of that in the outer corner, just right at the very edge. Just like that. Yep, I'm super impressed with this palette. I really should have bought it ages ago. I knew it was going to be good. These are really great eyeshadows and they stick very well to the eyes. They're very similar to the Peachy Matte palette that I like by Too Faced. Then I'm going to switch to shimmers. So this has a nice array of shimmers. So I'm going to use the shade Golden Light because I don't often use very goldy shades. So let's do something slightly different. So I'm just taking it on a flat brush and just going to spray it. I'm just spraying it with a setting spray, and I'm just going to pop that in the middle of the eye first. Wow, as you can see, it's a very foiled eyeshadow. This could probably benefit from being used with a glitter primer because it is quite a chunky shimmer, but it's actually sticking on the eyes very well. So I'm just going to take that slightly higher up, just right into the crease, and I'm not applying it next to the matte shade yet because I'm going to do something slightly different there. So just repeat it the other side. So take some shadow, wet the brush, and then just apply it. So then to blend out that copper shade, I'm going to take this colour here, which is Sparkling Rum. And I'm just going to wet the brush again and just apply that between the copper colour and the matte shades. Just as a nice transition. That's blended them together beautifully. Perfect. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the Shimmering Pearl shade and just apply that right on the inside, just there. Just to brighten that part up slightly. It's not really made a massive difference, but it looks nice. So then under the eyes, I'm going to start off with the shade Seashell again and just apply that underneath. And I'm going to take a tiny bit of the Glistening Snow shade, so the lightest one in the palette. It's a very shimmery one. And just apply a little bit of that in the inner corner and slightly underneath, like that, just to brighten things up a little bit. Then I'm going to apply a little bit of eyeliner, so I'm going to take the NYX bronze liner and just apply that all along the lash line. And that ties in with the tones on the eyes very nicely. So that just defines the eyes a little bit. So I'm just applying a little bit of this on the bottom lashes too. I'm going to also apply it in the waterline. So next onto mascara, I'm using the MAC Extended Play Gigablack Lash, as always on the bottom lashes and then possibly on the top. Then I'm going to use a new mascara to me. So I have here the iconic Triple Threat Mascara, so I'll try that out. So now I'm applying the iconic Triple Threat Mascara, and it has a plastic bristle brush, so we shall see how this goes. I'm not too sure how this is going to be, but because the bristles are so short, I would assume it would be nice and separating. Which is, wow, okay, like you can see my eyelashes are way up here. Wow. I'm so surprised because the bristles are so short, but you can see such a massive difference each side. I'm really shocked at that. This has been a video of great discoveries, hasn't it? Just so the wand really grips onto the lashes. Wow, okay, so as you can see, that mascara is really quite fabulous. That could partly be due to the fact that I have really long eyelashes also, but it definitely is a good mascara. Most mascaras do look good on my eyelashes though, I must admit. This one is particularly good though. Like, I definitely don't need falsies with this. I'm super impressed by that. Then for lip liner, I'm taking the Illamasqua Wool Liner and just overdraw my lips slightly. Just like that. Then I'm going to take a new liquid lipstick that I got. So this is Kat Von D Ludwig, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. So this is definitely not new, but it's just new to me. So I'm just applying a little bit of that. Perfect. And then I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll use a peachy gloss. So then I've just applied the Barry M Coral Gloss on top, and that is the finished look. So I'm really loving this super dewy skin. Obviously I have oily skin already, so it looks extra dewy naturally, but I'm really loving this highlighter. I think it's such a beautiful colour, and it's still shown up even though I put cream bronzer with it, I put a cream blush over it, powder, everything like that. It was still shown up amazingly. Again, that was the Natalie Grace Cosmetics Honeymoon highlighter, so super impressed with this. Also the Glossier Future Dew, I would definitely keep using this, and I really like the texture of it because it is an oil and a serum hybrid. I'm going to keep using this every day, and I'll let you know my thoughts over a longer period of time in a future video. I really like that as a highlighter, so I just tapped it over the Natalie Grace highlighter, and I really like it because it gives a proper wet look to the skin over the super shiny highlighter, so really a big fan of that. And I do like this liquid lipstick, but only when it's got a peach gloss over it, because it's just a little bit too brown for me. But then that's a great way to adjust the colour of things. So if you have a lipstick you like the colour of but you're not quite sure about the tone, if you want it to be a little bit pinkier, just use a pink tone lip gloss. If you want it peachier, use a peach one, or if you want it more brown, use a brown one, and then you can adjust it like I have. So it looks a lot different now and blends in better with the colours that I'm wearing and with my hair. And then the last standout product for me from the video is definitely this palette. So I'll be using this in a lot more tutorials. I'm going to create a slightly more glam look with it, and then possibly a pink toned look. So definitely expect to see this in an upcoming video, because I'm really a huge fan of this, and I'm going to buy another one for my kit. I definitely need this for when I'm back doing bridal makeup again, because it has such a great mix of shades and tones, mattes, shimmers, and a great mix of warm, neutral and pink tones. So that's perfect for bridal. So let me know what you think of the look, and if you don't already follow me on Instagram, follow me there. So it's Danielle Dickson MUA, so I show all the new products I get in there. Then you can see a little bit more of my day-to-day life and my work on clients as well, because like I said, I do bridal makeup, eyebrows, eyelashes, and I do makeup for events. So you can see all that over on my Instagram. So if you like this video, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe so you can see my future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!